What is going on, guys? This is Prodigy, and today I'm bringing you guys a video because I thought I'd talk about some of the upcoming console news that has been released in the past couple days, and specifically related to the PS4 Pro. So if you haven't heard yet, Sony has announced that they will be releasing actually two new PlayStation models, which is the PS4 Slim as well as the PS4 Pro. Now, the PS4 Slim is basically exactly what it says. It's just a slim version of the PS4. Nothing special there, it's just smaller, and it also does not have an optical cord, which is interesting, and I'm not sure why they decided to remove that, but that actually is a huge issue, especially if you're like myself and you have the Astro Mix Amp, which plugs into the back of the PS4 with the optical cable. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I'm not going to get the Slim anyway, so I guess it's not personally affecting to me, but that can be an issue in the future, and I'm wondering how people are going to get around that. But moving on from the Slim, they also announced the PS4 Pro, and the PS4 Pro is going to have updated hardware, and it will be able to support 4K streaming, so like Netflix videos and things like that, as well as 4K HDR upscaling for games. So if you're unsure what that means, that basically means that they will upscale the current picture on the console to look like 4K. It won't actually be true native 4K, but it will look better than 1080p in theory. I mean, it actually does look better, so there will be a slight improvement in graphics, but it won't be true 4K. Now, a couple of things are interesting about that to me. One, I've never really been a huge die-hard person to want to try 4K gaming. I mean, obviously 4K looks much better than 1080p. However, when it comes to gaming, graphics are really not the most important part of the gaming experience. I mean, it's a big part, it's a nice part of it, but really the most important part is performance. And right now, both the Xbox One and the PS4 are kind of struggling as far as performance because the hardware is outdated in the consoles, and they sometimes struggle to keep 1080p resolution as well as 60 frames per second without the frames dropping from time to time. And I know that's been a huge problem in Black Ops 3 as of late, and a lot of people have complained about that. But the simple fact is the hardware is outdated, and it was actually outdated the moment the consoles released and hit the market. So it's kind of interesting that they would choose to go the 4K route, and I foresee that there will be some problems as far as frame rate goes and even general performance, because I just don't see how they could, just make that jump. In my personal opinion, if it was my console, I would have tried to, stick with the more powerful processor, the more powerful GPU, but keep the resolution at 1080p and maybe up the frame rate capability. So maybe let it go up to 144 Hz so that you can get a much smoother frame rate and much smoother gaming experience. And honestly, that would probably even make it look better. Even though the resolution is the same, the game would look better at 144 frames per second as opposed to 60, because the gameplay would just be miles smoother and people will have a much better experience. But at the end of the day, all of this is kind of interesting to me, because it's really interesting that these consoles, the Xbox One and the PS4, because the Xbox One is also coming out with the Scorpio next year, which will basically be the same thing as the PS4 Pro, except a little more upgraded. But I just find it interesting how these consoles just released in 2013, so only 3 years, and we're already releasing new consoles with new hardware. Now, I know people are going to say that new consoles release all the time. The Xbox 360 had a slim version. The PS3 had a couple of slim versions. But this isn't just a slim version. This is a different console that has new hardware, and it will be completely separate. Everything is going to move towards this, and it's going to support this. You'll still be able to play your old PS4, obviously, but the new hardware is going to be primarily focused on the PS4 Pro. And so I just find it interesting how quickly Sony and Microsoft have to upgrade their hardware to keep up with the current generation of technology. And what this really says to me is that technology is moving so quickly that really I think the idea of gaming consoles is kind of outdated, or at least getting to that point, because new technology is being released every month, like new processors, new GPUs, new everything is being released, and to keep up with that, the whole idea of a console is supposed to be simple. You take it home, you plug it up, you play your games. That's it. You don't have to worry about it. When people started really caring about performance and things of that nature, they play games on the PC. So when you're upgrading your games or your consoles this quickly, and it shows that this is what these gaming companies are having to do in order to keep up, because like I said, only 3 years and we already have to have new hardware here. But at the end of the day, it's all user preference. Me personally, I'm not too excited about the PS4 Pro. I mean, I won't even take a second look at it. I'm just gonna stick with my PS4 because that's fine. I don't need 4K upscaling gameplay. I just want to play my games. But this news just was interesting to me because of what I was saying earlier. This kind of shows me that the idea of consoles may be beginning to be outdated because hardware may have to be upgraded at a more rapid rate, because never have we had a console get outdated in only 3 years. So we'll see what the future holds, and hopefully that won't be the case, but unfortunately I can't really see a way around it. So it looks like they're taking the PC route, or even better yet, the Apple route, because could you imagine having to get a new console every year because new hardware comes out? That's honestly what it seems like is going to be happening in the near future. Like people lining up outside to get the new PS4 this year, the new Xbox. I mean, I'm exaggerating, of course, but it's interesting because that could potentially happen, having to get a new console every year. Of course, not having to, but there just being a newer, more powerful console every single year. So that's definitely interesting. But we'll see how it happens. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I'd appreciate a like on the video. That'd mean a lot to me. And that's going to be it, guys. Once again, this is Prodigy. Thanks for listening.